Good morning, team, and welcome back to the channel. So it is the day after the high day yesterday, and I'm pleased I had a good night's sleep. So when I have a look at my Aura ring, because I track everything, all my sleep through this ring here, we actually slept for 6 hours 33 minutes, which I'm very happy with. But how I was feeling yesterday in terms of energy, I was completely fried, so I had a feeling that I would get a decent sleep. Don't get me wrong, I woke up at 1:30 in the morning, went for a piss, went back into bed, and I was like, right, force yourself back to sleep. You need to sleep. Forced myself back to sleep, woke up at 4:30. I was buzzing with it, really happy with that. So 6 hours 33, best night's sleep I've had in quite some time, to be fair. Came downstairs, weighed myself. We hit an all-time low of prep. So yesterday morning, before the high day went in, we were weighing in at 90.45. So 90.45 yesterday before the high day. We weighed in this morning 89.9. So this is the lowest I've weighed in prep as well. We've broke it into the 89s here. So new level of condition is definitely getting revealed. So I'm happy with it. It'll be interesting to hear Ben's feedback to see what see what he thinks. I've sent him over photos. I've sent him over updates. We will run another high day today. I know that for sure. We've got push as well. So what I will do is I'll take you through my push day later, and I'll also show you post-workout visuals with the high day that went in yesterday. I should be looking a little bit fresher. Even though body weight's come down, I should just have a little bit more pop. You know, I'm looking at my photos that I sent to Ben, and my lower back does look a little bit tighter, which I'm happy with. Midsection's looking pretty tight. The photos that I do in the house never really do me justice because the lighting's pretty wank. But when I do post-workout, posing in the gym, natural lighting with a pump, that's what I'll show you guys later. It should be a lot better, a lot better. So I'll show you them visuals. But today should be a good day. I hope it's better than fucking yesterday. Yesterday, guys, I'm not even over exaggerating. I felt like I was hit by a bus and ran over about 10 times. I was completely torched. But we are officially 1 week out now. 1 week out. Ben texted me yesterday saying, how you feeling? How we feeling? I said, fucking ruined. He said, haha, good. We need to be. Which I agree with. You know, when you're this deep into a prep, you're not going to be feeling fantastic. You know, you are going to be feeling fucked. So it's completely normal to feel the way that I do. But I am a morning person. So even though I feel okay now, give it till 1, 2 o'clock and I may be absolutely fried again. But we'll soon see. We'll soon see. No cardio, which will be good. My legs are feeling pretty mangled from yesterday's leg day. But like I touched on in yesterday's leg day, that is the last one for a while. Because obviously we're competing next weekend, competing the weekend after. So I don't know when I'll train legs again. But we'll see. That will be Ben's call, to be fair. But I'm just powering through a few check-ins now. And then we go into our first meal. Today's food, guys, is going to be the exact same as yesterday. So the most recent YouTube that I post is the exact same food. So I won't really show you too much of the food itself because you guys will know what I'm eating if you watch the previous YouTube. If you haven't watched it already, definitely give it a watch. But it's currently 6 o'clock. I'll have my first meal around 7. You know, so I'll do a good hour of work now, make Ola a nice cup of tea this morning, take that up to her, take my supplements, have my first meal, another 10-minute walk, and then some more work, and then we head to the gym. Nice early session. Like I said before, I always prefer training early, especially when I've got to do post-workout shots, because it'll give the most accurate look to how I'll be looking on stage. And I do prefer training with a little bit less food in me. So yeah, should be good. But just thought I'd give you guys an update, new lower prep, and hopefully that will show a lot more condition with the post-workout shots this morning. So let's get it done. Let's attack the day and let's put the work in. We don't stop. Foot firmly on the gas, team. Let's fucking go. First meal going in, and the meal I look forward to the most every single morning. We have cream of rice. And this one, to be fair, is bigger. So it's 120 grams of cream of rice, 35 grams of almond butter. Oh, cannot wait to tuck into this. Every morning when I wake up, I'm like counting down the minutes to when I can have this meal. So I'm going to have this, a little bit of YouTube on in the background, get back into some work, and then we got push day on the menu going down. Yes, team, so we're back. We are back from push. Very good session, productive session, felt good in the gym, and definitely felt a lot fuller as well. So before I go over the training footage, I thought I'd show you how I'm looking in my posing routine. I'll show you my posing routine. And I'm feeling good, you know, feeling good. Like midsection definitely felt a lot tighter. I was able to contract it a lot better. And also through my obliques, what I noticed with the visuals this morning is my obliques were a lot tighter as well. So even though body weight's come down, in my opinion, the carbs have definitely stuck and filled me out that little bit more. So I was happy with the visuals. Like even after I took these videos, I was like, we're in a good spot. We're in a good spot. I do just need to drop my elbows a little bit more with the rear double just to get more density through the lats. But what I'm happy with is my abs are a lot better. A men's physique is just mainly abs. You know, you've just got to make sure that you've got a good package everywhere, don't get me wrong, but you don't want to be bloated and blown out at all. So I definitely think by 3-to-1 ratio in my cream of rice instead of 4-to-1 ratio in it is definitely sitting a lot better on my midsection, as there's not as much fluid in my stomach. And also what I'm not doing, or what I was doing, is when I was waking up, I was just drinking shit tons of water, going to the gym feeling sluggish. No, not so much feeling sluggish, but feeling a bit heavy through my midsection. Whereas now, it's more controlled. You know, I'm not like guzzling water down. I'm keeping it nice and tight, once again, to sort of replicate how I'm going to be looking on stage. So visuals I'm happy with, guys. You know, I have had updates from Ben. We're going to get back to digging from tomorrow, so back down to usual training day calories, not high day. So food is prepped, ready to go for tomorrow, just so that when I wake up tomorrow, I can get straight into check-ins instead of getting into meal prep. I always like to be prepared in advance. And then I will send him more photos tomorrow morning with body weight, let him know where I'm at. And I don't know if cardio is going to get implemented back in. I wouldn't say so, but we'll see. We'll see. If cardio is going back in, it will only be tomorrow being Sunday, Monday and Tuesday, and that would be it. So 3 more cardio sessions left at the maximum if cardio does get put in tomorrow. But we'll see. It could just be a case of just training in steps for output. So let's get into the training clips. So first exercise we have on today is the cable kneeling crunch. 4 sets, in between 10 to 15 here. As I've said in previous YouTube videos, I always like to start abs off first. And the main reason being is I hit them fresh. I hit them with good energy, rather than hitting them at the end of the session where I am just flagging, you know. So midsection is something that I just need to be very, very precise with, you know. So getting them at the start will allow me to hit them with a greater intensity and, in my opinion, a greater accuracy than sticking them at the end where maybe my chest, shoulders, triceps are fatigued, and I'm just thinking I want to get out of the gym, you know. So if you are someone that skips abs or trains them at the end of the session but isn't that productive, an easy change to do is just get them at the start. Get them done, 4 sets, 10 or 15, abs were blown afterwards. And remember, we're thinking spine over and crunching and fully exhaling when you do come down into contraction. So when I'm getting into the contraction, I'm thinking, letting all that air out. Then we go into the tricep work. So first tricep exercise we do have is the single arm tricep extension. I think this is a goated exercise for your tricep, to be totally honest with you. You know, the connection that I get with this is very, very good. Very, very good. I can really focus on isolating one tricep at a time, keeping the elbow in a fixed position, and then just thinking of that elbow as a hinge where I'm coming up and I'm coming down. I'm coming up and I'm coming down. So 3 sets, 10 to 15 here, just to get as much blood flow in them triceps as I can. Next tricep exercise, we have the overhead tricep rope extension to target more of the tricep in the long head range. Felt good, really good. Felt nice and stable through this as well. Sometimes I can feel a little bit off balance. Felt nice and stable, felt nice and strong. Once again, elbows staying in one fixed position, and we're just thinking, letting it pulling us back, and then hard contraction as we do come into the shortened range then. But once again, putting triceps first, I was always apprehensive about putting triceps before push and putting biceps before pull, just because I thought it might have an impact. It doesn't have a single impact on me. You know, some people, it may have an impact putting triceps before your pressing movements. For me, it definitely doesn't. And if anything, just complements it that little bit more, because your elbows are warm, your joints are a little bit warmer. So I'm enjoying putting triceps first, to be totally honest with you. Then pec deck. So in this push day, so push A, what I do is my chest work, then my shoulder work. So what I always like to do before going into my presses is getting a isolation done prior to my presses. The main reason, it drives as much blood flow into my pecs as possible, and that is what I'm aiming for here, driving maximum blood flow into my chest. The reason being is when I do go into my presses, then what is going to be the first thing that fatigues? It's going to be my chest. It's not going to be my front delt, for example. You know, so what I'm thinking about here is keeping my chest nice and proud throughout. I'm not allowing for this. My shoulder isn't rounding forward. As soon as that shoulder rounds forward, takes the tension off the intended muscle group, being the pec, and simply just shifts it on to your front delt, which is not what we want. So keep that chest nice and proud. Then first heavy press of the day, we have the incline press. So this is the Train by JP times Granite incline press. Very good. I do feel as if it's a lot heavier than the hammer strength one, but nevertheless, very good exercise, very good piece of kit. So keeping chest nice and proud once again, allowing for full range of motion, and then a good contraction at the top. Fixed plane, you can't really go much wrong here, but what I'm thinking about is keeping my elbow directly stacked behind my wrist to allow for greater force output. So felt really good, but that last rep was an absolute bastard. I just knew that wasn't going up. Energy was just not there on that final rep. And then what I did do, but I didn't record it, was the flat press. So we did do a flat press after the incline press, but unfortunately, I did forget to record the flat press. Then we go into our first delt exercise, which is the lateral raise. Dumbbell laterals, 15 kilo, felt good. Felt really good. Always like doing a lateral raise. You can't beat a lateral raise to blow your delts up. You know, once again, getting as much blood flow in them lats, in them delts as I can. And I felt really good doing this. You know, sometimes lateral raises can feel a little bit off for me, you know, but today felt absolutely superb. So I think this was like 3 sets of like 10 to 15 again, you know, a couple of partials at the end just to completely torch the delt, So that is the first delt exercise. Thinking when I'm doing a lateral raise, I'm not thinking bringing the dumbbells, like imagine I'm 12 o'clock. I'm not thinking 9 to 3. I'm thinking more 10 to 2. And the reason being is it allows for greater alignment and a much better connection. Then the shoulder press. Once again, Trained by JP times Granite. Very similar to the prime shoulder press, where you can manipulate the resistance profile. So I'm doing 30 kilo top peg, 20 kilo mid peg. Top peg will make the load feel heavier in the lengthened range. Mid peg is more even throughout. And I probably did go a little bit too heavy on this, to be fair. I think I might have had like 7 reps, which is in the rep range, don't get me wrong. But I did want to be getting like 8+ here. But felt really good. Once again, similar to the incline press, I'm thinking keeping that elbow stacked underneath my wrist to allow for greater force output. And what I was thinking here is trying to keep my spine more straight rather than like really sitting back into it, because I feel as if when you get your chest super, super proud on a shoulder press, it hits a lot of like upper clavicle work. So try to keep not directly upright, but as vertical as I could, just to maximum fry my delts. Maximum fry my delts, does that make sense? You get the gist. You get the gist. And then what we did do after that, but I also forgot to record, was lateral raises again, but on a cuff on the cable, because that would be more length and range focused. Dumbbell laterals, short and range focused when your delts are fresh. Cuffed lateral at the end when your delts are fried, so you want it to be more biased in the lengthened than the short and range. But they are the training clips from today's session. That is how I break down my push A session. But I think I'm going to wrap the video up there, guys. I think that's going to be about 15-20 minutes. Mainly this video just giving you guys a bit of an update on the high day, giving you guys a bit of an update of how I'm looking post high day, and then a few training clips to go over as well. So I'm going to get back into work. I'll start editing this YouTube this afternoon. Got a fair few bits to do today now. Got a new setup to do, plan tomorrow. This week coming is going to be a very, very busy week with obviously the travel up to the show on Thursday. I need to make sure I am ahead of schedule as much as I possibly can, because that Thursday when we get to Derby, it'll be a case of unpack, go to the gym, get a pump session, just get some blood moving, nothing to failure. It'll be like 40-minute in and out upper body session. And then that Friday will just be a case of stress low, eat, walk, pause, and then just be on WhatsApp all day. So yeah, that'll be a good day, but I just need to rest on that Friday, ready for showtime on Saturday, which will be exciting. So thank you guys for watching. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm not sure what one it will be. I need to plan that this afternoon as well, the YouTubes. But yeah, see you guys in the next one. Almost there, 7 days out.